Today is September 19, 2016 at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. My name is Joseph Gilariosa of the journal Global Links. I have here on the other end of the phone line Cook County Associate Judge Israel E.C. Desierto in Chicago, Illinois. How are you today, Judge E.C.?
How are you today, Mr. Lariosa?
I'm fine, thank you. Can I record my phone interview with you, Judge Desierto?
Sure.
Okay.
Would I reserve the right to edit anything that might be recorded?
Sure. I can send you the transcript. I can send you the transcript and then you can approve it later.
Sure.
First of all, Judge Desierto was born in Manila, Philippines, and came to the U.S. at the age of 5. Secondly, congratulations, Judge Desierto, for being elected President of the Illinois Judges Association, which according to your website consists of 1,250 current and retired judges of Illinois. Are these members all Cook County judges, or do these members include municipal judges, appellate, and Illinois State and Supreme Court judges and or justices too?
All right, well, the Illinois Judges Association is a statewide organization. So it is a state judges. The state judges include the different county judges, including Cook County. There are 23 judicial circuits in the state of Illinois. Other than the state court trial judges, there are also the appellate court justices, as well as the Supreme Court justices who may be members of the Illinois Judges Association. There are provisions in our bylaws that allow federal judges to be adjunct members. So that's what the membership is limited to. It's primarily an association of statewide judges, active and retired. The Illinois Judges Association has been in existence for over 45 years. So it is a statewide organization. I don't know if that answered your question.
I think it did. According to the mission of your organization, your association aids judges and the general public by giving them access to summaries of new cases filed by the Illinois Supreme and Appellate Courts on the day they are filed. The summaries can be accessed by clicking on the link to the Illinois Court Reports website. About your IGA, it also the Illinois Judges Association. Yeah, it also says the association supports judicial excellence and professional development and judicial education, fosters public confidence in an independent judiciary, works to preserve the independence of the judiciary by educating the public and students, and promotes a diverse judiciary and administers justice in a fair and impartial court system. With 62 members of the board of Illinois Judges Association for the year 2016 to 2017, as president of IGA, how often does your board meet?
Now, with respect to board meetings, we are always in contact with the board members. What I do is have a monthly meeting with first our officers, and then based on those meetings with the officers determine whether the executive board as well as the board, because there is an executive board as well as a board, would need to address any issues. Typically, we have board meetings where all the board members are present. You have to understand, as a statewide organization, there is difficulty with judges from other parts of the state either coming to Chicago or for Cook County judges to go to other jurisdictions. lot is covered through phone conferences. However, twice a year, in June and December, the board meets personally, with each board member being there to establish quorum. Now, one of the things that we're tasked with, of course, is education. We take education seriously. One of the things that I spoke about at my installation, where Justice Warren Wolfson swore me in, was engaging our membership and encouraging mentorship. And mentorship includes things that involve public service. For example, in-school programs where we go to grade schools and high schools to give different speeches. We do 7 reasons to leave the party. It involves the consequences of drinking and driving and high-risk behavior by high school students. So that's primarily something we do for high schoolers. Bringing the courtroom to the classroom is a civics lesson on judicial process and the U.S. Constitution. We present that to grade school kids as well as high school kids. There's also the Page It Forward program that encourages literacy and reading, and we do that from preschool all the way to 3rd, 4th grade. We read a book called Abe Lincoln's Hat to them. So that portion of the vision of the Illinois Judges Association, encouraging mentorship, that's done. We also have other judges who promote public trust and confidence in the judiciary by not only engaging kids from grade school and high school, but also college students. Many of us teach in the law schools. I know there are justices who are working with new admittees as well as practicing attorneys. And we also engage, of course, with the Conference of Chief Judges, because mentorship is not only with students but among judges. So we engage with dialogue and get support from the Conference of Chief Judges. The Conference of Chief Judges are all the chief judges in the 23 judicial circuits in the state of Illinois, including Tim Evans, who is the chief judge of Cook County. We also, of course, interface with the Supreme Court of the state of Illinois. So there's much that we do, not only to engage the public, but also to encourage our membership.
Okay, that's interesting. Are you the first Filipino-American president of Illinois Judges Association?
I'm the first Asian American, as a matter of fact. So yes, first Filipino American, first Asian American.
Okay. And were you able to find out how many presidents of IJA who were white, black, Hispanic, Polish, and other races during the past 45 years?
I know, and I don't have the exact number on it, but there have been a number of African American leaders in our organization. They include Lou Nixon, hold on one second. Lou Nixon was an African American. Sophia Hall was another African American who served as a president of this organization.
Okay.
A couple of my mentors, Thomas Fitzgerald, who was a Supreme Court Chief Justice, was a president of this organization. Gino DeVito is another president of this organization. Hispanic president included Justice Reyes, Jesse Reyes. So, you know, like a lot of things in our society, what the organization tries to do is make sure that the organization also represents what's best in the judiciary as a whole, and that means representing people that make up the fabric of this great state.
Okay, that's good. Maybe you can email me the list so I will not misspell their names of those past presidents.
I don't have that list of all, but those are just people I knew that served on this.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I'm not sure if the website lists the past presidents of the Illinois Judges Association. I don't manage the website. We have somebody who does that. Our executive director is pretty good.
Unfortunately, your website is only good for members. There are information that I cannot access, the public cannot access. So maybe your website webmaster you can ask him to send it to me if he has access to it.
I'll have to find that out myself.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but yeah, you know, remember, part of what we also do is we have to be careful with, you know, not everything can be totally public, especially with some of the things that are in the country these days. You know, of course, it's available and accessible, but I'll try to get you the list of presidents.
Okay, thank you. And aside probably from mastering a quorum, what are the other challenges faced by an Illinois Judges Association president?
You know, because it's a statewide organization, making sure that we continue to monitor both legislative and executive matters that might impact on the judiciary as a third branch of the government are involved. Making sure that we maintain public trust and confidence in the judiciary, and also assuring that you know, you'll have to admit that there are difficulties that exist in the executive and legislative branches of government, but as the judiciary, we have to be reasonable. That's what judges try to be. Not only, I think, in a professional context, but also in this organizational context. And it's important to continue to preserve judicial independence and to protect separation of powers in a lot of things. So there are challenges, but I think what's best about this organization is the strength of its membership. Our members, because they are from all over the state, judges who have a great deal of experience, so much so that they are now retired, and other judges who have, you know, issues that may be new to the judiciary. Balancing all that, I don't know if I don't think it's a difficult task. I think it's just something, it's part of the legacy that I feel I need to maintain as being a president of this organization. Like I said, it's been around for 45 years, and it has had a very strong existence. I want to maintain that on behalf of not only our members, but also for the public. It's important that you know, our judges do maintain independence, and that other branches recognize the importance of judicial independence and separation of powers.
Okay, I think you already answered my next question. It says, does Illinois Judges Association hold seminar or webinar for law students?
We do a lot of different things in terms of engaging in CLE, continuing legal education for lawyers. I myself and a number of other judges, now it's not necessarily through the IJA, but as IJA members, we do go and teach, not only to lawyers, but also to, as I indicated, law students. I still teach at a law school. Now, the IJA sponsors certain programs. Those programs are geared specifically, though, for our school-age kids, kindergarten through high school.
Okay. Does Illinois Judges Association also hold fellowship meetings? How often is this done?
I don't understand your question. Fellowship meetings.
Fellowship meetings. You do some social networking among yourselves, or other legal, or other members of the legal community aside from just the members?
Yes, we engage the bar. We're very, we coordinate a lot of programs with the bar, so that statewide we are very, we coordinate a lot of efforts with the Illinois State Bar Association, the ISBA. In fact, we do a program, the one I just mentioned to you, Courtroom in the Classroom. We do that as a Judges Association or in coordination with the Illinois State Bar Association. We also deal with a lot of locals. So in Cook County, we deal with the Chicago Bar Association, as well as the Cook County Bar Association, which is the predominantly African American Bar Association.
Okay.
So we engage in a lot of different things with the bench.
Okay.
I'm with the bar. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you also hold fundraising activities, and usually what?
We cannot, as judges, engage in any fundraising activities. We do have, though, the Illinois Judges Foundation, and the Judges Foundation is a not-for-profit organization that's part of the Illinois Judges Association that allows us to get funding for these programs that we do. But we, as judges, we are prohibited from asking for money, so we don't ask for money for the program. It's a membership-driven organization.
Okay.
And basically what the Illinois Judges Foundation does is raise money so that we can, for example, in the Page It Forward program where judges read Abe Lincoln's Hat to a classroom, we don't have to buy those. What we do is we get that book. It's a great book, Abe Lincoln's Hat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's perfect for, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade.
Okay.
We get those books and provide it to the teachers so that their children, the kids that they're teaching, will have access to those books.
Okay.
Okay? So that we are able to get the funding to get those books, but we do not engage in any fundraising type activities.
And what about if you give those books to the library, they will not be sufficient to provide to the students, right?
We give the books to the class, so that's like 30 books I've done that program a number of times, and it's great because the children love it. They get to see a judge. There's a lot of different things that are involved that make it something good for these kids. So they get a book, their own book. Some of these kids, we go to some, and not just in Cook County, in Chicago, but in other parts of the state. It might be, and for some, I'm not saying for all, but it might be the only book that they own. But it's an opportunity for them to get a book. And these, again, are for, school-age kids.
Okay. Your website says IJA supports judicial excellence and professional development. Does these objectives include sponsoring a scholarship for high school or college students pursuing law degree?
There are other things that we do with other organizations. For example, the Diversity Scholarship Foundation.
Okay.
As an organization, we are here primarily to, engage the community, right?
Okay.
It's primarily through these educational programs, judicial speaking bureaus, and we coordinate with the Illinois State Bar on certain programs. We conducted blood drives, right?
Okay.
Through IJF, we are able to get books that we can give to other students. As far as providing scholarships, that's done through other associations. The Diversity Scholarship Foundation is one of them, and other things like that.
What about the...
So that, for example, the Illinois Judges Foundation might give some money so that a scholarship foundation can provide some assistance.
Okay.
We do not individually as an IJA, which we can't because we are an organization of primarily active and retired judges, nor can we afford to give out scholarships, and again, within the parameters of judicial ethics, we don't do that now. Are other member judges involved in different things that provide those? Yes, we are.
Okay.
We encourage judges to try to be as engaging of the community as possible. Again, that's consistent with our main goals.
Okay. Do you have any announcement to make on the upcoming activities of Illinois Judges Association?
Nothing. I mean, I don't understand.
I mean, aside from after your induction as president of Illinois Judges Association, do you have any other meetings or public meetings, similar events where general members of the IJA will be meeting again, or for what reason?
Well, we have committee meetings
Okay.
every week.
Okay.
I would say that we have at least 4 committee meetings every week.
Oh, yeah.
So that there's different committees. For example, our educational program committee. That's what our in-school committee. We have a publication called the Gavel. One of the things we do is make sure we monitor unjust public criticism in the media of judges. We have a membership committee to try and make sure membership is available. We have a privacy and court security committee. So the committees meet. They're comprised of committee chairs and members of the association. So as far as the different committees that are available, we do meet on a monthly basis. Most are monthly basis, but because of the number of committees, we can have 3 or 4 committee meetings a week.
Oh, okay.
Again, when I was sworn in June, and I don't know if, never mind. My main thing was to first of all continue the legacy of this organization. And the legacy of the organization is that we need a strong and unified voice for judges. Okay?
Okay.
In order to accomplish that, to continue the legacy, and certainly the legacy involves people like my mentor, Thomas Fitzgerald, who was the past Justice of the Supreme Court. I mentioned Justice DeVito. I mentioned some of those of color that include Justice Nixon, Justice Sophia Hall, Justice Reyes is one of the past Hispanic presidents. There's lots, 45 years, I think it's every year there is a new president.
Okay.
So, what I wanted to do was to continue the legacy of this organization, and I hope that I'm able to do that and leave this organization in as good, if not a better position than it was when I took over. So what I've endeavored to do was first, I wanted to make sure that we engage our members. I mean, the thing about this organization is it's only as strong as the participation of its members. And so I wanted to make sure that judges throughout the state are aware of the importance of the organization, are willing to take the time that sometimes is necessary to be part of an organization like this, things like that. And I think I've done that so far, or at least I've tried to accomplish that by, leading by example, so to speak.
Oh, when were you inaugurated as president of IJH? Okay.
It was June 3rd, 2016, at Kent Law School.
Okay.
Justice Warren Wilson swore me in. Justice Wilson is a justice of the was a justice of the Illinois Appellate Court. He went on to, he was an influence in my life. He taught me trial ad. I was going to become a patent lawyer. I dropped out of a master's program in molecular biology and went to law thinking I was going to become a patent lawyer. Instead, I met Justice Wilson, Justice Fitzgerald, who is the Supreme Court Justice, and a David Erickson. Those 3 taught me trial advocacy, and that changed my life. And instead of becoming a patent lawyer, I became a trial trial lawyer with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, trying both civil and criminal cases.
Do you have any regrets?
Regret? No.
No. Okay.
No, I'm blessed to have the parents I did. God blesses me, my family, and so I don't regret. I try to, like I said, try to live up to the legacy, not only of this organization, but of my dad who passed away last year, and the people who've influenced me. Thomas Fitzgerald passed away last year. Sandra Otaka, who passed away. Justice Laura Liu.
Yeah.
They are very influential in what I do and what I try to do, first and foremost for our members, and then secondly for the people of the state.
I'm sorry to hear about the death of your dad. What was the name of your father?
Jose T. Desierto.
What's the middle initial?
Pangonan.
Pangonan. It seems that this year is the year of Filipino-American lawyers. I mean, you are the president of Illinois Judges Association, while Filipino-American Cook County Judge Jessica Arrow O'Brien had just given up her presidency of the Women's Bar Association of Illinois, which has also 1,000 members. What can you say about that?
I think it's just speaks to the community and what the community, not just lawyers, but the whole community can do. If you remember also that Abella Austriaco was the president of Chicago Bar Association not too long ago.
Okay.
What it speaks to is, lawyers trying to do the right thing and engaging the community. I am both, Jessica, Aurora, and I were founding members of what was the Filipino-American Bar Association, and is now the Filipino-American Lawyers Association.
Okay.
So that kind of activity and, coordination with the bench and bar, I think, is important in any thing.
Okay. And since I often see you in Filipino events, in fact, you were our inducting officer some years ago when I was president of the NPCPIL USA at Solskjaer, Chicago's Regional Library. Are you also aware with events happening in the Philippines? Also, I saw you last at the community night of the Sipod City last Tuesday, September 13, 2016. Are you aware of also events happening in the Philippines?
I don't know what you're referring to specifically. What I try to do is be as responsive to the community as I can. I think I owe a debt of gratitude to the community. I think, can serve to young lawyers so that, like you were saying, Filipino lawyers have had an active role in assuring that the bar, not just the Filipino bar, but when I say the bar, lawyers who practice are well represented in everything, and so I try to maintain my commitment to community, not only in service of our organization, but in different things, and that's why I try to make it, to as many events as I can, hopefully to put a good face again, promote public confidence and trust in the judiciary, to pay back, to, and maybe serve as an example so that young Filipinos, whether they're lawyers or whatever they wish to engage in, can be encouraged and know that they have an opportunity to take leadership roles and be a model.
Okay. Because you were 5 years old when you left the Philippines, what Filipino cultures were you able to take with you in the U.S. aside from being a Roman Catholic Church member? Since I saw you attending a mass at my own St. Constance Parish Church with your mom, Mrs. Gloria Abaya Desierto. So, I mean, do you understand the Filipino language? What's your favorite?
I do understand the language. In fact, my mom and dad encouraged us. Although, of course, you know, they wished us to engage in. I do understand the language. I should say.
What is your favorite Filipino food?
Oh, that's yesterday. My mom and I got together.
Okay.
Like I said, I take her to church on Sundays.
Okay.
We got together and made a bit and papaitan.
Papaitan. Pinakbit and papaitan. Okay.
Yeah, so we made that for lunch yesterday.
Yeah. That's good to know. Do you happen to know where your parents are from in the Philippines?
My mom is from Zambales,
Zambales.
and my dad was from Ilocosur.
Okay.
So they're both Ilocano.
Okay. Any message to the Filipino community?
I think it's just to continue to work hard, be devoted to your family. You know, I'll tell you what my aunt said. I went to her 95th birthday in the Philippines a few years ago, and I asked her what she did to live such a great life, and she said, first and foremost, believe in God. Secondly, laugh more, worry less, and then she said, eat your fruits and vegetables. That was her advice. My advice continues to be, you know, I tell my nieces and nephew and any children that I sometimes speak at with these speaking engagements to work hard, work smart, and stay in school. You know, I think education is probably the thing that would provide the best opportunity, not only in the United States but throughout the world. So engaging in that is always a good thing.
So you are also adopting the legacy of your aunt?
I'm sorry?
You would also be adopting what your aunt had told you in the 95th birthday?
Yes, in a lot of ways.
Okay. What's the name of your aunt?
I call her Itugning. Her real name was Saturnina Ignacio.
Saturnina. And you mentioned about in the Philippines, so is it in Ilocos?
I'm sorry?
Was it is she in Ilocos or in Zambales? Your aunt?
My aunt, that was from my dad's side, so
Dad's
that's
side.
Ilocosur.
Ilocos, sir. Okay. How many times have you been to the Philippines?
Well, I was born there and I returned a couple of times.
Okay. And can you
Can I read you the speech?
Okay.
Because I don't want to send it via email.
Yeah, you can read it to me. If you have
Well,
the
I thank Justice Wilson, not only for swearing me in, but all the officers. And that's what he did that day, June 3rd, 2016.
Okay.
But for everything he has done throughout my professional life.
Okay.
I was fortunate that he influenced my life first as a law student, then as a lawyer, now as a judge. As I had explained, I dropped out of a master's program in molecular biology and thought of becoming a patent lawyer, and I thought IIT Kent, where I went to school, would be a perfect fit. It was at that school where I met Justice Wilson, Justice David Erickson, and Justice Thomas Fitzgerald, a former Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court and a former president of the Illinois Judges Association. Now, they're the ones who taught me trial advocacy. And I became a lawyer because of that. Prior see that in my bio data.
Okay.
Of course, I'm also thankful to Judge Sandra Otaka and Justice Laura Liu, because they were very instrumental and were always guides to me. The Supreme Court has always been kind to me. Justice Tice is a former president of the organization, Justice Kilbride, Carmeier, Garvin, Freeman, and all the justices of the Supreme Court. Of course, Judge Evans, because he's a leader here in Cook County, and Judge Ken Wright, he's my immediate supervising judge. And of course, I thank my friends, including Judge Jessica Arong O'Brien, Aurora Abella Austriaco, because we have grown up as lawyers and members of this community together. And of course, the bar associations are important, including the Illinois State Bar Association, the Chicago Bar Association, the Filipino American Lawyers Association, and the Asian American Bar Association, as well as the Hispanic Lawyers Association.
Okay.
Of course, Kathy Hosty, who is our executive director. Now, I know that I don't have a lot of experience that past IJA presidents have had, and that's why I continue to talk to judges like Justice Tice, DeVito, Reyes, Pope, Carol Pope, Stu Noodleman, Ann Jorgensen, and Mike Hyman. They're judges, Ron Spears, who's a past president, Judge Mathers, Rita Novak, Lou Nixon, and I mentioned also Sophia Hall. And of course, I got to thank our board. I thanked our Illinois Judges Foundation, the charitable arm. The current president is Jeannie Reynolds. The past president was Liz Rochford. I made sure that I thanked our members, because it's their committee work, and our ambassadors, not only to our membership but our community, that was important. The fellow officers, that include Judge John Cody, who will be the next president, Jim Snyder, who's from Cook County, Margaret Mullen, who's from the Lake County area, Diane Shelley, who's an African American, and will be president in 4 years, I think it is, or 5 years. She's from Cook County, and Barb Prouder, who's from Southern Illinois. Bob Anderson was the past president. Can you hear me? Sorry, Elsa?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Judge Bob Anderson had been our president, and he's from DuPage County, and he was a tremendous leader. And then I went on to state that, the best way to show my thanks, because I thanked all these people, and of course I thank my mom and my dad, who was in there in spirit, and my wife Gala, and my brothers and sister, who were also at the swearing in. I thanked them, and I said the best way to show my thanks is to follow the example that's been set.
Okay.
And really, what I want to do is continue the legacy of those who have been the members of the Illinois Judges Association of the past 45 years. The reason our organization formed is as important now as it was then. Judges in Illinois need a strong and unified voice, and certainly the IJA has been able to meet the challenges. I think I can continue to do so with people's help, and I chose as my theme engaging membership and encouraging mentorship. Now, to engage membership, I contacted chief judges across the state and supervising judges throughout Cook County to meet with all the judges. I've asked my friends and colleagues to make sure that they continue to act as ambassadors by recruiting new members. I welcome the suggestions and addressing criticisms and rally their support. When encouraging a new generation to act, JFK said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." So we carry on that commitment to public service, as I told you, to engage mentorship. We work on the in-school programs. We continue to work on programs that promote public trust and confidence. I told you about how we engage not only school-age students, but college students, law school students, new admittees, and practicing attorneys, and then mentorship among judges. So I understand that judges will continue to face challenges, and despite the difficulties or the dysfunction that may exist in the other branches of government, the judiciary must remain strong and united, reasonable in our approach to issues that affect us, and we must continue to preserve judicial independence and protect separation of powers. And I said that, as an immigrant to this country, I'm humbled and honored to become president of the Illinois Judges Association, but my dad used to tell me, let your actions speak louder than your words. So I'm going to let my actions over this next year speak to my voice or words that I want to continue the legacy. So that's basically what I said. And I'll send out that biography to you.
Yeah. One other thing, why did you plan to take up, why did you wanted to become a patent lawyer in the first place? What was the reason?
Because I had studied molecular biology, and it was just a natural fit since I was studying for my master's in molecular biology.
Okay.
Okay, I did not complete the master's.
Okay.
So I thought the next best thing then would be to use the education I had received from my master's of biology and become a patent lawyer.
Okay. Okay. One last thing. Are you aware also that there are some Filipino-American lawyers who lost their license?
I am not.
Yeah, in the case of attorney Manny Aguja, he lost his license because of malpractice in immigration cases. And I wrote about it. I covered the court case. And also, last Tuesday, I was there at the ARDC hearing of Attorney Albascos.
Oh no.
And
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know, I know. But what happened was there was a recommendation from the panel of ARDC that he will be suspended for a year and indefinitely upon advice of the court, meaning it will be up to the court after 1 year if he will get back his license or the suspension will be lifted after 1 year. But I noticed that Bascos and his lawyer, Attorney John Lally, did not object. So I figure that will be the penalty that will be recommended by the panel of investigators to recommend to the Illinois Supreme Court, which will make the ruling. Because earlier, the Illinois the panel recommended 6 months, and the Illinois Supreme Court returned it for further discussion or investigation of the matter. And so I was there at the hearing, and obviously I heard from one of the lawyers who used to handle the case. Mr. Bascos is going to give up his license, but I have contacted the lawyer of Bascos and he hasn't commented. So that's what I'm going to write. That's another story that is not part of this interview that we have. Although if you want to make a comment on that, you can let me know.
Okay, I'd rather not make comments on things that I don't know anything about. And I think what you had suggested was addressing the Judges Association and my responsibilities in it. So I think we've done that. I will forward whatever other information you've requested, and maybe see you when I take my mom to Mass again.
Okay, I will see you again, and thank you very much for your time, Judge Israel E.C. Desierto, and I wish you the best as IGA President.
Thank you very much, sir.
Maraming salamat. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good day. Thank you. This is Joseph Gelariosa of the Journal Global Links in Chicago, Illinois.